So welcome to the last series of this video series, and in this section we'll be talking about the right quality. And quality is somewhat a very evasive topic because it always seems qualitative in a way, and one user will define quality to be ABC while the second user will define quality to be XYZ. Are they referring to the same item? But we have to think of it this way. The definitions of quality can differ. One definition can be what you call the transcendental definition, and this is the definition that you already know what you mean by quality but cannot articulate it. You already know what a good phone looks like, but you can put to words the specific aspects of it because there are certain issues of aesthetics that you cannot be able to explain. There are also other aspects of user experience. And this is the same when we're thinking about the difference. For example, what's the difference between JKUAT and University of Nairobi? If you were to use the term quality, you'll be most times using fluff words or words that are not clearly articulating the aspect of quality that you mean. And that is what we call transcendental definition. It is a very, very important aspect of quality, an important aspect of quality processes. Now, there is the other definition which we call the perceived definition of quality. And this is how you perceive an item to be. Whenever you are served by a chef who is a Michelin chef or recognized chef, you always assume that food is quality. Whenever you're being served by a brand higher in one aspect, you always assume that is quality. And that is the aspect that we're talking about, especially when we give the example of cars. There is the commonly accepted principle that German cars are superior in quality as compared to Japan or Asian-made vehicles. But is it true? It is not a question of true or false. It is a question basically of perception. And perception is an integral aspect of quality. Now, you go to the other definition, and this is what you call the performance aspect. And in performance, you're basically asking yourself, does the product do what it is supposed to do? That is quite simple. Does the phone make the calls when you need it to? Does it receive text? Does it send text? All those aspects have to do with performance, and performance in a way tends to be very, very static. The issues that are very thorny for most of the analysts out there has to do with the perceived quality and the transcendental aspects of definition. Now, once we have understood this, there are certain dimensions that must be there when we're talking about a quality product or service. The first one is the product serviceable? Now, a product that is easily serviceable is considered to be quality. A product that is not easily serviceable is considered to be of inferior quality. But do not mistake serviceability with the aspect of cost of switching. For example, an Apple product can only use Apple programs, can only use Apple services, basically. So whenever you're thinking about serviceability, do not think about the switch from Apple to Android. Just think of it in the aspect of singularity. It's an Apple product, but is it serviceable? It's a Tesla product, but is it serviceable, regardless of whether it's expensive or not? If it is serviceable, then it is a quality product. Another one that we have here is what you call durability. Is the product durable? The lifetime of the product. Are you making a product that is today working, tomorrow not working? Is it a generic? Now, if it is, then quality is not part of that dimension. So durability is very, very important. Another aspect has to do with aesthetics. Now, it is not enough to make a good product. It is also important to make an appealing product, and this is where the aspect of aesthetics come in. You want the product to be appealing and the features of it to be so performance based that it draws in the customer. It has to be two-edged sword in a way. The performance of the product and the aesthetics of the product give it a perception of quality. Now, another aspect has to do with conformance. And under conformance, what we are talking about here is, does it conform to the established standards? Does it conform to the KEB standards? Does it conform to the ISO processes standards? If it does conform, then it is a quality product. Now, the other one is feature. What are some of the features of the phone? The wider the features, the better the product is considered to be. So once you understand all the dimensions of quality and the definitions that are needed to ensure quality is adhered to, we want to know what are some of the costs that are involved when managing quality. We have what you call the appraisal costs. The appraisal costs, then you have the internal failure costs, then you have external failure costs. So let's think about the appraisal costs. These are the costs of ensuring conformance to the processes. What aspects of an organization's processes do we have to make sure that the product is of quality? Appraisal costs. For example, in Jomo Kenyatta, to make sure that our academic process conforms to the established standards, we have a department called DIPCA, which will be evaluating lecturers and evaluating staff based on their performance and evaluation from their peers, evaluation from the students, evaluation. All those are appraisal costs. We have not produced the end product. The internal costs are before the product gets to the customer. And this has to do with, are we reworking any product? Are we reworking any product? Is there scrap that will have to go to waste? Is there any waste material that will have to be incurred during the production process? Those are what you call internal failure costs. We failed to meet the quality internally before the product got to the customer. Now, after the product gets to the customer and it is not a quality product, then the cost in this case will have to do with warranties. If it is an electronic product, where it will have to be returned, and repairs. Also, a cost, you have a complaints system which incurs costs for the organization. We also have costs of return. So the total costs of quality, therefore, is calculated by the appraisal cost plus the internal failure cost plus the external failure costs. From this, therefore, we can see that the appraisal costs, the internal failure cost and the external failure costs are all directly related, in the sense that if you lower the internal failure, if you lower the external failures, and if you are able to adhere to the set standards, your total cost of quality will be much, much lesser. Now, let us think of it this way. If you want to ensure you have quality in your products, then there are two things you need to do. The first one is what you call quality planning, and you need to plan ahead for quality, and then you have quality assurance, and this has to do with things like ISO standards, KEB standards, or recognition by established bodies that has to do with our product or that service. So in a nutshell, this is what we mean by managing quality. You can go through your notes. There is some extra material on that. Now, there are some other aspects in the main module that I'm not going to cover. This you will cover on your own. And this has to do with ethics and procurement. That one you can go through on your own. Then you have technology and procurement. This you can go through on your own. Then you have sustainability, issues of sustainability. Again, this you can go through on your own. It's important material which I have given for that. So thank you very much for your time.